Alrighty, hello H2Os, Roller Bros, and Ophelias alike. Welcome back to r/datinghell. We've got some crazy stories to go over that might make you a little bit uncomfortable. Let's get into it. Alright, first story. This happened back when I was in my early 20s. I'd graduated college and started working a job in a lab. The conditions weren't great, so I was almost always sick, and most of my college friends had moved away, so I was pretty lonely too. One of my coworkers invited me to go to a church group after work, and I figured it would be a good way to meet new people. The church group was mostly people in their mid-20s, and they were pretty standoffish. Except for one guy. Let's call him Sam. Sam was a big guy, he was a foot taller than me, and it was obvious that he worked out regularly. He asked me out, and we arranged a date for the next week. First date was pretty standard. We met at a public coffee shop and talked for a few hours. It wasn't a great date, but it wasn't so bad that I never wanted to see him again. We arranged for another date the next week. Here's where things got weird. The day of our second date, I texted Sam and told him that I was sorry for the short notice, but I couldn't meet up because I was sick. He texted back that he still wanted to see me and would not take no for an answer. I agreed to meet him in the parking lot of my apartment building, and he showed up within half an hour. When we met in the parking lot, Sam was carrying a bag of groceries, and he insisted that he come up to make me soup. I told him that wasn't necessary, but he kept insisting, so I let him in and we went up to my apartment. Once in my apartment, things got really weird. He started singing to me and kept asking me to dance with him. Sam got angry when I asked him to stop. He stood over me and said, "You're lucky I'm such a good guy. Other guys would have taken advantage of you and you wouldn't be able to fight me off." That scared the heck out of me, and I asked him to please leave. He just grinned at me and sat down on my couch. He stayed for about 8 hours with me trying to get him to leave. On his way out, he told me that he would be waiting for my text. I blocked his number, and luckily I moved away within a few months, so I never saw him again. Okay, 8 hours of him staying there while you were trying to get him to leave. That is extremely excessive. Some people in the replies were saying you definitely should have called the cops, and I have to agree, but there was obviously some reason you were probably too afraid to do that, like maybe it would make things worse somehow, but Jesus Christ, this is a terrifying situation. Refusing to take no for an answer, for him, like, coming over, problem right off the bat. Just everything about this is terrifying. And honestly, just a piece of advice, if you're in the dating stages of seeing someone, if someone's sick, just let them not come to the date. That's perfectly fine. You don't want to be showing up to their house. You don't want to be taking care of them. Maybe after you've started, like, actually being in a relationship, that would be cute and nice and helpful, but at this stage, totally inappropriate. So just as a heads up, this next story is from 6 years ago, so if things culturally, I guess, seem a little bit different, that might be an explanation. I've only been on a blind date once. A friend of mine had the brilliant idea that I would be simply perfect for a male friend of hers. I had been single for a while, and since I wasn't having any luck on my own, why not get a little boost from a friend? Important part of the story. I made it clear with my friend that the guy she was setting me up with was fine with girls on the darker side of life. I've always been weird, gothy, and nerdy, and while I don't exclusively date other goths, I just wanted to be polite so he wouldn't be shocked to see a girl with a septum ring and an extremely pale complexion. She assured me that not only did he like goth girls, he liked Lord of the Rings and science fiction books as well. I was actually really excited for this date. It was agreed that we'd meet for dinner and then go see a movie. Standard first date fare. We met and I thought he was cute and he seemed very nice and polite, and I mentally made a note to thank my friend for her matchmaking. We got appetizers and discussed boring things, and after the appetizer was cleared and we were waiting for the main dish, he asked how things were going and I said that I was having a lovely time. He then dropped the bombshell. He had a very serious expression and said that in order for me to be with him, some things had to change. I stupidly asked, "What do you mean?" Well, he was ready to tell me what had to happen for me to be with him and to be seen with him. Here is the list of requests. Remove all my piercings. Remove my tattoos. I actually had no tattoos at the time. Stop with the goth look. Don't worry, he was going to take me shopping and he assured me that he had excellent taste. Get a tan. Grow my hair out and dye it a normal color. My hair was short and dyed black. Lose weight. I am 1.76 meters tall and weigh 60 kilograms, give or take. For For Americans, thank you. I'm 5'8" and weigh 140 pounds. That's like completely normal. No more video games, no more D&D. No more horror movies. I mentioned that I only really like horror movies. Okay, I just need to jump in real quick. While we all know that, like, BMI isn't perfect for telling you if you're healthy or not, or body fat percentage or anything like that, being 5'8" and weighing 140 is actually on the lower end of normal weight, so I don't know what this dude is complaining about. After all that, then I would be ready for him to be seen with me and to accept me as a girlfriend. He didn't say this in a mocking tone. He was quite serious that he was willing to pay for me to be wholly made over, and then I'd be awesome. At this point, I had a really stupid expression on my face. My face felt like it was on fire. I almost wanted to cry and kept opening my mouth to say something, but no words would come out. So I probably looked like a baby bird with a tomato face. He was really chuffed with himself and kept telling me how I looked rubbish now, but once I got a tan and started dressing and acting like a normal girl, man, I would be a knockout. The waitress came over with dinner and she gave me an odd look, probably because I looked quite insane, and to be honest, my head was still spinning. I've been picked on and bullied a lot, but this was almost worse in a way than when people used to spit on me and throw garbage. Now, this part is a little bad. In my haze of rage/hurt, I pushed my plate of paste over to him and unceremoniously dumped it on his lap. I grabbed my purse and walked out of the restaurant. Then, I got frightened thinking he might come and beat me up, so I hid for a bit and then called a friend to pick me up. I know it's not right to dump food on people and it's not right to waste food, but it just happened. Not gonna lie, I went home and spent the evening sobbing. The next day, my friend who had set up this disaster was curious to know how it went, and I told her. She was shocked. She wasn't angry at me, she was furious with this guy, and I wasn't angry at her. She clearly had no idea it would go so badly. To this day, I don't know what his deal was. Maybe he wanted a girlfriend he could build from the ground up? Also, since the date, I have not changed my style or my appearance. I might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm happy being spooky and nerdy, and I don't need to compromise my appearance to find someone to love me. Plus, giving up video games and horror movies is simply not possible. First off, let me just say that I'm very glad that you didn't let the opinion of this idiot impact you whatsoever in the long run. I totally understand how it would have been extremely upsetting in the moment, but as we all know, I know this is from 6 years ago, but I'm pretty sure it was the same case in 2012. There's plenty of guys out there that would love a goth gamer GF, so I'm pretty sure you're gonna do perfectly fine out there, and it's very good that this guy made it clear how much of a loser he is. This story is also from like 2012, 2013, sometime around then. I dealt with the breakup of a 3-year relationship in May of 2012. Needless to say, after 3 years, I had no clue where to start when it came to dating. So, being 23 and clueless about how to meet people, I made an OkCupid account. After meeting a few girls, I decided to meet one that had been texting me for the past few weeks. This was back when I was drinking, so we decided to go out for a drink at the local bar. She met me at my apartment, met my roommates, and headed out to a bar down the street. She was cute, we got along very well, and I even got rid of a guy that was hitting on her. That impressed her. A couple of people I knew showed up, and we ended up drinking with them a bit. She's about 3 or 4 mixed drinks and 2 shots deep. That's a lot of booze. We ended up leaving to head to another bar and meet the people we were with. On the way there, she starts to get a bit strange. At the next bar, she's doing more shots, obviously very intoxicated. She starts trying to slow dance with me outside. Okay, not a big deal. She then asks me this. Will you be there for me and take care of me, emotionally and financially? Want to come to my niece's birthday? I want you to be my boyfriend. Keep in mind, this is our first date, and she is blackout drunk. Obviously, she's in no condition to drive, so I offer to let her stay and tell her she can sleep on the couch if she wants to. She says, I wasn't planning on driving home. Oh, okay, feel free to invite yourself over. So we head home because I have work in the morning. We get home, and my roommates are on the couch. She walks in and says, Hamburg's my boyfriend now. Hamburg is the name of this Reddit user. She ends up crawling into bed with me, and I'm hoping I can get to sleep and never have to see her again. Nope, she starts playing with me. Okay, I'm not sure what to do. Next thing I know, she hops on top of me, slides my pee-pee into her, and says, I want you to splooge inside me, Hamburgs. I want you to get me pregnant. Nope, I pushed her off and pretended like I didn't hear that and went to sleep. Woke up in the morning, she kissed me goodbye, then the text messages start. She doesn't remember that night. She thinks we have good chemistry. I won't deny that we did have good chemistry. So I explained to her why she scared the hell out of me and why I don't think I should see her again. She apologizes and apologizes. So I give her the benefit of the doubt. I explained that I was going to take time before I could see her again. She proceeds to try and hang out with me every day. I keep telling her that I need time. She doesn't care. She wants to see me. She knows where I live, and I feel like I'm going to get murdered. She then tells me that I'm the cause of her depression. I tell her I can't do this, and she needs to leave me alone. She freaks out. After a few days of not responding to her texts, she finally stops. Right after that night, I deleted my OkCupid and deleted her from Facebook. Thankfully, I wasn't murdered. I feel like the only thing worse that can be said when you're doing the deed with somebody than I want you to get me pregnant is like I have herpes or like I have flesh-eating bacteria in my coochie. This whole thing is just a mess. I'm glad she's out of your life, and Jesus Christ, this woman needs serious help. I implore you all to be much like the lovely and attractive Brian Quinn and be very careful when you go on dates, especially with people that you don't know whatsoever. I hope you're all taking care of yourselves, taking care of the people around you, skating on to the best of your abilities, drinking a sufficient amount of water, and staying safe out there. I'll see you all very soon. Peace out, Cub Scouts.